Lights, camera, action, the three words that set the stage for countless stories, dreams, and ambitions. In the world of entertainment, these words are the heartbeat, the pulse that drives the industry forward. Jane, the queen of reality TV, was always on the hunt for the next big thing. Her eyes were sharp, her instincts sharper. She had a knack for spotting potential where others saw none. She craved drama, she craved excitement, and most importantly, she craved ratings. Every show she produced was a roller coaster of emotions, a spectacle that kept audiences glued to their screens.
And then there was John, a struggling actor with a flair for the dramatic, my polar opposite. He was passionate, driven by a love for the craft that was almost palpable. His life was a series of auditions and rejections, but he never gave up. He dreamt of Shakespeare, of method acting, of escaping the mundane. His heart was set on the stage where he could lose himself in characters far removed from his own reality.
Their paths crossed at a Hollywood Hills party, a whirlwind of flashing lights and empty promises. It was a night where dreams and reality intertwined, where the line between truth and illusion was as thin as a whisper. She saw an opportunity, a chance to create a show unlike any other. A show that would push boundaries, challenge perceptions, and captivate audiences in a way that had never been done before. He saw a beautiful woman, a chance at love, or so he thought. In that moment, he believed that his life was about to change, that he was on the brink of something extraordinary.
Little did I know, I was about to become the star of the most dramatic reality show ever conceived. A show that would test my limits, challenge my beliefs, and force me to confront my deepest fears. A show where the lines between reality and illusion would be blurred beyond recognition. Where every moment was a performance, and every emotion was a question mark. A show called Love's Illusions. It was more than just a title. It was a promise of what was to come. A journey into the heart of human emotion where love and deception danced hand in hand.
Their romance was the stuff of tabloid dreams, stolen kisses under the Eiffel Tower, romantic getaways to Venice, whispers of love exchanged over candlelit dinners.
I started talking in hushed tones, mentioning classified information and secret missions.
Jane, ever the producer, saw the goldmine she was sitting on. She encouraged his delusions, feeding his ego with fabricated stories of international espionage.
I even hired a handler for him, a mysterious figure who communicated solely through coded messages and burner phones.
John was hooked, living out his wildest spy fantasies, oblivious to the fact that he was the star of Jane's reality show masterpiece. Enter Judicina, Jane's best friend and the struggling actress herself. With a wink and a nod, Jane brought Judicina into the fold, assigning her the role of the femme fatale, the other woman.
I began leaving John cryptic messages, accidental touches that lingered a little too long, whispers of a shared secret that only we were privy to.
John, torn between his love for Jane and the allure of the forbidden, was ripe for the picking. The stage was set, the actors were in place, and the cameras were rolling. Love's Illusions was about to reach its dramatic peak. John, ever the method actor, started believing Judicina's charade. He saw a kindred spirit, someone who understood the dangers of his double life.
I confided in her, sharing my secrets and my fears. I felt a connection, a spark that I hadn't felt with Jane in weeks, or had I?
The lines between his real life and the carefully constructed reality of Jane's show were blurring. He was losing himself in the role, forgetting that the cameras were always watching, capturing his every move, his every stolen glance, his every whispered word of betrayal.
John, my dear, you're falling right into my little web. You think you can escape, but every move you make only tightens the strands around you.
Jane, the puppet master of this elaborate production, watched with amusement as John fell deeper into her trap. She had meticulously planned every detail, every twist and turn, ensuring that John would never see the end coming.
Time for another secret rendezvous. Let's see if he picks up on the clues. Each item left behind was a piece of the puzzle, a breadcrumb leading him further into the labyrinth she had created.
She orchestrated secret rendezvous between John and Judicina, leaving trails of breadcrumbs for John to follow. The dark alleyways and hidden corners were her stage, and John was the unwitting actor in her grand play.
A dropped earring here, a forgotten scarf there. Each item was carefully chosen, each location meticulously planned to keep him guessing, to keep him on edge.
all strategically placed to fuel John's suspicions. The lipstick stain on the torn paper was a signature move, a mark of her presence, a hint of the secret she held.
Oh, this is getting good. The look of shock, the widening of eyes, it was all part of the thrill, the excitement of the chase.
The tension was palpable, the drama was reaching fever pitch. Every glance, every gesture was loaded with meaning, with unspoken words and hidden emotions.
The viewers must be on the edge of their seats. The anticipation, the suspense, it was all building up to something big, something unforgettable.
The viewers were on the edge of their seats, glued to their screens, waiting with bated breath for the inevitable confrontation, the explosion of heartbreak and betrayal. The tears, the accusations, it was all part of the spectacle, the grand finale that Jane had orchestrated.
Little do they know, the biggest twist is yet to come. The key in the hidden lock, the final piece of the puzzle, it was all leading to a revelation that would change everything.
The stage for the final act was set at a secluded beachfront hotel, a place where the waves whispered secrets and the wind carried the weight of unspoken words. It was here that John would face the most challenging decision of his life.
Jane, Judicina, what am I supposed to do? How did I get here, torn between two incredible women, each holding a piece of my heart?
John, torn between his love for Jane, who had been his rock, and his growing infatuation with Judicina, whose passion ignited a fire within him, decided to follow his heart, or so he thought. The decision weighed heavily on him, each moment feeling like an eternity.
I can't keep living like this. I have to make a choice. But what if I choose wrong? What if I end up hurting the one I truly love?
He packed a bag, leaving behind a note for Jane, pouring out his anguish and confusion. The note was a testament to his inner turmoil, a desperate attempt to explain the inexplicable.
I can't live a lie anymore. Every day feels like a battle between my head and my heart.
He snuck out of their apartment, the weight of his decision heavy on his shoulders. Each step felt like a betrayal, yet also a step towards his own truth.
This is it. No turning back now. I have to see this through, no matter the cost.
He arrived at the hotel, his heart pounding in his chest, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The hotel stood as a silent witness to his inner conflict, its walls echoing his silent pleas for clarity.
Here goes nothing. This is the moment of truth. I have to be honest with myself and with her.
He knocked on the door of Judicina's room, ready to confess his feelings, ready to risk it all. The door creaked open, and in that moment time seemed to stand still. He was about to lay bare his soul, hoping for understanding, fearing rejection, but knowing that he could no longer live in the shadows of his own heart. The door opened, and there stood Judicina, a look of surprise on her face that was quickly replaced with a knowing smile.
John, what are you doing here?
She invited him in, her eyes twinkling with mischief.
Judicina, I need to tell you something.
John, still blinded by the carefully constructed illusion, confessed his love, his voice thick with emotion.
I think I'm in love with you, Judicina.
Judicina listened patiently, her smile widening with each passing moment.
Oh, John.
Just as John leaned in for a kiss, the lights flickered and a spotlight shone on them.
Cut. That's a wrap on Love's Illusions.
The walls of the hotel room seemed to dissolve, revealing a soundstage, a sea of faces staring back at them in stunned silence. Cameras circled the room, capturing John's look of utter bewilderment. The audience erupted in cheers and applause, their laughter echoing through the studio.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Love's Illusions. And the Oscar for Best Actor goes to John.
John, still reeling from the shock, could only stare at Jane in disbelief. The weight of the situation, the absurdity of it all, slowly began to dawn on him. He had been played, masterfully and completely. He wasn't a spy, he wasn't in love with Judicina, and his entire life for the past few months had been a meticulously crafted lie. He looked around at the cheering audience, at the smiling faces of the crew, at Judicina, who was now doubled over in laughter, and then slowly a grin spread across his face. He had been a fool, but he had to hand it to Jane. She had pulled off the impossible. The line between reality and illusion had been blurred, manipulated, and ultimately exposed. John, once a staunch believer in the sanctity of truth, had been forced to confront the uncomfortable reality that love, or at least the perception of it, could be manufactured, packaged, and sold to the highest bidder. The show, Love's Illusions, became a global phenomenon, a cautionary tale about the seductive power of entertainment and the lengths to which people will go in the pursuit of fame, fortune, and love. And what of John and Jane? Their story, much like the show they created, was left open to interpretation. Did they find love amidst the chaos and deception? Or were they forever bound by the shared experience of blurring the lines between reality and illusion? The answer, my friends, is for you to decide. After all, in the realm of love and reality TV, anything is possible.